The Gambia is on the verge of another extension of state of public emergency. The Ethiopian government has offered bailout package for COVID-19 affected businesses. Engineers in Tunisia are jointly in the production of PPEs for COVID-19 frontline health workers. This and more coming on the world today. Hello, this is iAfrica TV. You are watching the World Today News Bulletin. I am Amadou Kante. Thanks for watching. Many thanks for joining us. Now, the Gambia has recorded 2 new cases of the COVID-19 2 days after earlier 2 cases confirmed in the country. Acting Director of Medical Services, Dr. Mustafa Bitey, told journalists this evening in Banjul that the male and female who tested positive of the virus had a recent travel history from Senegal. Accordingly, there are 2 probable cases. The 48th National Situation Report since confirmation of the first case of the novel coronavirus COVID-19 in the Gambia on the 17th March 2020 when the country reported the first COVID-19 case. 2 new laboratory cases have been confirmed in the afternoon of Monday, 11th May 2020. These additional cases have brought the total of confirmed cases in the country to 22. In addition, 2 new probable cases have also been recorded. And from that, of course, recent development on the situation of the COVID-19, we stay at home because the Gambia has so far served 38 days in the extended state of public emergency by the National Assembly in Banjul. This adjustment followed the expiration of a 21-day of partial lockdown declared by President Adama Barrow under the powers vested in him by the 1997 Constitution. However, with the country counting more than 20 cases of the COVID-19 since March, the government is very likely to go in for a longer state of public emergency. Let's have more details of that in this report.
The Gambia is in the verge of further extension of the state of public emergency, which is due to elapse next week Tuesday. In April, the National Assembly extended the initial 21-day state of public emergency for additional 45 days that ushered some restrictions in the field of transport and commerce. The regulations closed all non-essential food outlets, schools, and places of worship across the country. The public had since complained of being locked indoors without optional means of living. The Vice President and Chairperson of the COVID-19 Ministerial Committee told iAfrica on Friday that the government will continue to rely on experts from the health sector to determine the need for another extension of the partial lockdown.
Well, we are watching the situation because COVID is a pandemic and you have seen the surge emerging as at now. Different countries are at different levels. So as it comes, then the decisions that His Excellency will take will depend on the technical guidance and advice from the Ministry of Health and other relevant institutions that will guide that process. So we're waiting to see.
The Gambia government launched food aid worth $700 million in rice, oil and sugar designated to support 84% of the needy and vulnerable households in the Gambia. As of last week, the greater percentage of the food aid had been dispatched to about 324 distribution points across the country, according to the Vice President, but more people are in the waiting sickness.
When people are hungry, you cannot tell them wash your hands and come and eat. But I would urge them to just be patient, or everything that is moving from one corner of the country to the other is all for them. And 84% of the population is almost like covering the whole population.
Whether what if offered by the government will be enough to motivate extension of lockdown or not. The Ministry of Health had more than enough reasons to stress the need to continue to stay at home. Since the outbreak of the coronavirus in the Gambia in March this year, more than 1,000 tests have been conducted, from which 20 have been confirmed positive of the virus.
Looking at the projections we had, at this time should have been the peak. From now till around the 17th, we should have been having, without no social distancing, about 3,300 cases. And if we are having, so I think our measures the measures the government has taken has helped a lot. And I think we should ensure that we should not rest on our laurels, because we are surrounded, for example, by neighbors that are having a lot of cases, and we cannot rest until the fire around you is calm before you can stop. So I think our intervention should be the same, or even strengthened further. And that would be our advice, I think, to the National Assembly going forward.
During the first month, 8 out of the 10 cases were imported mainly from Europe, but the trend has changed in April and May, showing 7 out of the 10 cases under treatment as a result of local transmission of the COVID-19. The Africa Center for Disease Control and Prevention disclosed over the weekend that coronavirus cases are accelerating at an alarming rate as a number of African countries began to soften grip on restrictions due to the economic pressure. The number of confirmed COVID-19 positive cases across Africa had reached nearly 60,000 cases, the Africa Center for Disease Control and Prevention disclosed over the weekend. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Absegay.
And from that report, next we head to the UK, where the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has presented a plan to ease lockdown restrictions in the next 2 months. In address to the nation from London on Sunday, Johnson said the new Joint Biosecurity Centre will assess the situation in the UK based on a 5-day COVID alert system. This, he said, is to help British scientists to estimate the risk from low to critical levels before issuing the recommendations to proceed with the further reopening of the country.
No, this is not the time simply to end the lockdown this week. Instead, we're taking the first careful steps to modify our measures. And the first step is a change of emphasis that we hope that people will act on this week. We said that you should work from home if you can and only go to work if you must. We now need to stress that anyone who can't work from home, for instance, those in construction or manufacturing, should be actively encouraged to go to work, and we want it to be safe for you to get to work. So you should avoid public transport if at all possible, because we must and will maintain social distancing, and capacity will therefore be limited.
The UK has been outpacing other European countries in its number of new cases of the coronavirus, making it one of the worst hit countries in the world with nearly 220,000 cases as of Sunday. The country has the highest death toll in Europe with over 13,000 deaths due to the coronavirus. And from that development in the United Kingdom, next we head to Tunisia, because Tunisian engineers are taking advantage of technology to produce face shields as preventive gears for health workers dealing with the COVID-19. The initiative triggered partnership with factories and other enterprises to further produce thousands of face shields and other protective materials for health workers. Health authorities and civil society organizations are jointly helping the innovators for the production of health equipment during the coronavirus pandemic. For more details of that, we go with this report.
FabLab is a center for innovation laboratory in the north of the capital city Tunis. Adnan is the executive director of Healthspace, a research center which has dedicated its units to 3D printing of face shields for medical staff treating coronavirus patients.
The first step was to identify the needs of the medical staff. We talked to the Tunisian medical staff at the beginning of the pandemic in March. Doctors were scared of the idea of working without protective visors. We designed different models and made them available at COVID-19 units.
The success of the initiative has paved the way for collaborating with factories as well as medium-sized enterprises to produce tens of thousands of face shields and other protective gear.
The designs were made on the computer, then transferred to the third printer, which was worked non-stop for more than 2 weeks to boost production. Now, we're working with industrialists to print more visors at a larger scale to cover the needs of public hospitals.
Following an assessment of the first phase of production, the Tunisian engineers and technicians are now 3D printing other medical equipment which used to be imported from abroad.
We are innovating solutions to counter the spread of the COVID-19 virus and to help the Ministry of Health. The Fab Labs are providing the technical assistance to make new models of face shields, respiratory valves, COVID boxes or intubation boxes. We are prototyping and conceiving new solutions to stop this virus.
In collaboration with 3 Tunisian associations, the Foundation Orange is managing 6 Fab Labs Solidaire to encourage innovation and digital solidarity in the North African state. Health authorities and civil society organizations are providing local innovators with the necessary assistance to tap into the full potential of 3D printing technology during the coronavirus pandemic. Tunisian engineers and technicians now want to make 3D printing accessible to all research units in all regions across the country.
And from that report there in Tunisia, next we head to Italy, talk about an Italian freed man, because an Italian aid worker in Kenya has finally been freed after being held by a non-kidnapped group for a period of 2 years. Working for the Italian charity in Africa, Silvia Romano, who was seized by gunmen from a small rural hotel in the Kifili country, southeastern Kenya in 2018. More details of that in this report.
An Italian aid worker who had been abducted while in voluntary work in Kenya in November 2018 was successfully repatriated on Sunday. 25-year-old Silvia Romano was filmed receiving a hero's welcome as she landed at Rome's Ciampino airport. After embracing her family, Silvia briefly met Italian Prime Minister together with Foreign Minister, who shared inspiring words with her.
We are very happy for Silvia, her parents and family members, and for all the Italians who have been anxious during this long wait. It's not necessary to tell you, but obviously we had received some evidence of her living existence already in the past, but we could not share any news. Any information that is leaked early could have compromised the successful result of this operation.
Reports claim that she was freed from the control of militant group Al-Shabaab on Saturday, somewhere near the Somalian capital of Mogadishu. However, no group has yet officially claimed responsibility for her kidnapping 18 months ago. The Italian Secret Service had reportedly received assistance from the governments of both Turkey and Somalia during the rescue operation. Italian Foreign Affairs Minister Luigi Di Maio also thanked the people who worked on getting Silvia Romano back to Italy.
Just as we did for Silvia, the state is working on their release. We don't leave anyone behind. The work done by the Fanesina, that is Ministry of Foreign Affairs, by Intelligence, by the Prime Minister, and by all the men and women who have worked to bring Silvia back. It's a job that will continue and do so immediately. Not from tomorrow, but already in the next hours, just as we have always done.
In January 2019, the Somalia-based Al-Shabaab said it was behind the attack on a hotel and office complex in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, in which 21 people died. For iAfrica News, I am Julde Njai-Sware.
You're watching The World Today. There is more news coming ahead, but for now, we'll take a short break and come back shortly with the remaining updates. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Badingol men be Gambia anin Gambia e bantala mbenga nyillon ko TRRC bala doko sallabang le kono andi la doko be lori men kan wala hadama dingol men na nyanto tinyata nyim banko kanjang kabrin July karo 1994 sangola kana January karo 2017 sangola woto momo yalon ko e mantorata nyi wato kono andi man futa TRRC follow pour que la kuma kan di safa me statement no ye fere ke ye futa TRRC ye la kuma kan di atariya nyama yo pour kana TRRC ye feŋo feŋ kenan paasoti kana futa je walla feŋo feŋ dépense pour ka futa TRRC ke la kumakaŋo di abe seyindilema le bari mbe ñiŋ fanaŋ koyindi la ko pour ka statement o fanaŋ di a maŋ ke ko moo moo ye la kumakaŋo di TRRC i be loo la télévision o ñaato le moo be ye juube wo tuti ite le bulu ni lefta ka testify moo be ye lamoyi moo be ye je i se wo kenoo le bari ni maŋ lafi wo fanaŋ na i se kumakaŋo diinoo le a ye tara moolu ke kaŋo moyi bari ite ñaadaa je la niŋ du maŋ lafi wo fanaŋ na i se siinoo i niŋ commissionnal damma ali ye kacca a ye tara moo te bole kalama andu niŋ me lafita ka ñiŋ ke i se katoo ke ye ñiŋ téléphone nombal kumandi pour ka TRRC soto no 770-4988 770-4988 wala 741-5937 741-5937 ala baraka moo be sa daa ke TRRC doo koot.
Welcome back. You are watching the World Today News Bulletin on iAfrica TV, and now to the rest of the stories. Now, members of youth in Islam, an Islamic organization based in Wellingara, donated dozens of food items to support residents of Bafloto in the West Coast region. Households received bags of rice, sugar, and other consumable meant for daily fast-breaking meals during this holy month of Ramadan. Let's have more details of that in this report.
A youth-led religious organization, Youth in Islam Sunday, handed dozens of food items, such as rice and sugar, to over 30 households in Bafloto in the West Coast region. The donation was geared towards serving as fast-breaking meals for these communities who are in observance of the annual month of fasting. President of the organization, Al-Amin Fadera, described their intervention as selfless service to suppress dangers posed by the coronavirus pandemic. This is part of the activities of Youth in Islam that has been embarking on such a benevolent gesture over the years. The Alcalo of Bafloto, Alaji Baji, commended the organization for the support and called more hands for a similar intervention. Speaking on behalf of the Village Development Committee of Bafloto, Mohammed Sisao conveyed their delight that the donation will reduce the fear of hunger due to the partial lockdown.
To say thank you to you people also, because there are many villages, but you choose Bafloto to come and give us this item to break our fast. So that's a great thing, and we want to say thank you very much. May Allah bless you. Yeah.
Is this the first of its kind in this year?
Yes, this is the first time in this village I'm seeing such.
The move by the organization came in the wake of a month of fasting characterized by challenging measures posed by the COVID-19, showing signs of hunger in different communities across the country. Commercial restrictions being enforced to stem the spread of the virus, more people are forced out of jobs, compelling government to launch food aid for the neediest groups for the stay-at-home campaign to succeed. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Lamin Sane.
And from the report there by Lamin Sane, next we head to Zimbabwe, where the impact of COVID-19 has largely affected the sale of tobacco production in the country, as prices are lower than the case for the same period in 2019. Farmers are so much disappointed with the market situation, which grants very few in earning muscles to sustain their families. Over 200 million kilograms are projected for the season, but experts have warned farmers against complacency ahead of next season. Let's have more details of that in this report.
Deliveries in the first week of sales are lower than the same period last year, a reflection of the reduction in the number of growers and hectarage put under the crop last year, but also a result of logistical challenges presented by the coronavirus, which has disrupted transportation and seen sales being conducted under unfamiliar, strict controls. Normally, farmers want to be here in person so they can see for themselves just how much their crop fetches. But because of a need to decongest the sales floor, only farmers with 100 bales or more are allowed to witness the auction. It's left some small-scale growers in the dark.
It's been 3 days since we got here, and we have no idea if our tobacco has been bought or not and for how much. All we have been told is that the payment vouchers are still being processed.
When they do get paid, half of their proceeds will be in US dollars and the balance in local currency.
It's the first time in several years that we'll get half of our money in US dollars. A promise we hope will materialize because it means that we can preserve the value of our money, sustain our families and restock inputs so that we can go back to the field next season.
Tobacco production is projected around 213 million kilograms, which will generate hundreds of millions of US dollars, a crucial injection of liquidity in the wake of a COVID-19-induced economic slowdown. The effects of the pandemic could spill over to the next season.
We are recommending farmers to get prepared for any event, which entails farmers have to have the appropriate protective equipment at the farms. They have to have the sanitizers, they have to have the thermometers, they have to have the mask for their workforce, which is really an additional cost to a already strained farmer, thereby threaten the viability of the farm.
The extra burden could weigh some of them down, leading to another drop in production and revenue in 2021.
From that report there in Harare, Zimbabwe, finally we head to Ethiopia because the Ethiopian government is providing tax relief package for the COVID-19 affected businesses in the country. Businesses were shut down as part of measures to curb the spread of the coronavirus disease, which led to cutting down of operations. Last month, the government provided over $400 million to bail out the banking industry. Here is more details of that in this report.
It is a tough time for Ethiopia's economy.
Ethiopian Airlines, for instance, is reporting a significant amount of loss, about 560 million. Most of the tourism sector is impacted. Exports are dwindling. In fact, in some specific sectors like floriculture, for instance, there is a complete halt in some areas. Of course, there is some recovery lately, but generally, COVID is really affecting our economy.
Privately owned businesses have had to struggle to survive on their own. While many businesses have been forced to shut down, others have adjusted their operations to have their workers work from home, and others have been forced to cut down costs by laying off their workers. In March, the government injected over $450 million as liquidity for private banks to enable them provide debt relief and additional loans to customers. But now it is being forced to do more through tax relief. Outstanding dues between 2015 and 2018 will also be cancelled.
We've created some flexibility for businesses that still have tax liabilities to only pay the principal tax amount, and the council has cancelled interest and penalty on it, and also provided a timeline, a payment plan. They can pay over a year, they can only pay 25% of it.
The government is also using tax incentives to save people from losing their jobs.
In that regard, the government, for instance, has allowed businesses to retain the employee income tax and use it as a salary payment. And also for those businesses that give 2 months rental fee for their tenants, the government has allowed them, made them free of rental property tax.
Farms that are able to pay taxes in a lump sum will enjoy a 10% discount, and in appreciating those that have contributed to the government's cause to combat COVID-19, the companies will be given a 20% discount from their taxes. Apart from depending on its domestic resources to keep the economy afloat, the country has got a recent boost from the International Monetary Fund of $411 million and an assurance that it will receive some debt relief.
That report there in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, finally bring this news bulletin to an end. But for more details on this and other stories, you can also log on our website on africa.tv. Many thanks for the pleasure of your company. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and of course, bye for now.
Have your say.
Fellow Gambians, my government has approved a $500 million emergency fund, which the Ministries of Health and Finance will work on for disbursement and use to fight COVID-19 menace.
xaalis bi tege yomb na waaye xam lu jafe mooy séddale bi ni ñu ko séddalee ak ndax danañ ko jox ñi ko yeeyoo wala duñ leen ko jox loolu moo jara laajte.
cos loo xam ne la nit yee tax ñu joxe ko te nit ñi ñoo leen fa teg te xaalis nit yi la comme xaalis yi population bi la wax dëgg yàlla li gënoon mooy ku nekk gis sa boppa
man su ma sañoon daal ñu séddoo ko nu mu waroo buñ si def xaaj loo ñii diw nañ ko si ku nekk loo war a am nga am ko.
askan bi seen dem ak dikk bu ñu wàññee mu jël ko def ko si loolu noonu participer ko si loolu noonu ba nga xam ne danañ mën a ànd ak moom si wàññi suñu dem ak suñu dikk.
génne leen xaalis bi nañ ko génnee ñu defar suñu réew mi defar réew nag da nga koy commencé njàng mu baax nit ñi di faju feebar di faju tan feebar di faju dafa xemul kombo loolu affaire bi du kombo rek nañ génne ci àll bi yëpp ñu defar fa hôpital li war man mi nekk kombo moo war ka nekk fototo moo war ka nekk Paka Ndiogu moo war ko nekk feneen.
waaye nit doo ko mën a wax mu teg këram joxuloo ko dara lu mu lekk soo ñun balaa corona dañu rey xiif moo ñoo rey.
nguur bi su nekkee ne 500 millions Gambie ñaata population bi ñu ñaata lañ.
2 point or 1 point.
ok 2 point boobu noonu su nekkee dañ ko war a séddale si nit ñi ku nekk ñaata la war a am.
million su bëri soosu noonu nañ ko xaaj jox xel benn xaaf ñu téyegum ñu jël beneen xaaf bi yóbbu ko ci communauté bi ñu téyegum.
silang ni nga arata ko bulu courant lu sotota ani borolu sayin pentanglu panande nyante hakilo falol fanan kanne
ya foko nga ta si suo kono man sala million be maburu nga bulo kono man sana la kuol bebe kuo be kala jeto hana nyil min fankana fontolen ko nga ta si suo kono fotolo man tara man sa do kuol nin karo fate man tara kejo
xaalis boobu dañ ko war a xaaj ñu jël xaaj bi dugal ko si wéru yaram bi ñaareel xaaj bi dugal ko si askan